Welcome back to JB Reviews. On my left, you guys see we have a Toyota Tundra, and on the right, we have a Chevy Silverado. This is going to be a limited trim level right here, and then this is the LTZ. So these are pretty much in the same trim level category, so they would compete with each other. Now, I do have the window sticker for the Chevy. I'll show it to you guys in this video. And I was able to find the window sticker for this 2023 Toyota Tundra, so I'll show it to you guys here too. But we're going to do a fuel economy run. So as you guys know, Toyota messed up and did a twin-turboed V6 for 2022. And as you guys know, Chevy's still sporting along with that 5.3 liter and 6.2, although the standard engine is a 2.7 liter 4-cylinder turbo. We won't go there though in this video. However, they still offer a 3-liter diesel, so that is the tiebreaker. And quite honestly, it's not even a tiebreaker, it's a game over really. But let's see just how good this twin turbo V6 is. This is actually a 3.4 liter. I saw that it was 3.5 and then they went to 3.4, so I'm not sure why they changed it. I guess the displacement was a little bit, or the cubic inches, whatever you want to call it, was like below 3.5, so now they call it 3.4 liter. But I'm giving you too much information. Let's start driving. Special shout out to Jerry Seiner here in Salt Lake City. They did allow me to do this video. They have a huge selection of trucks, SUVs, so be sure to check these guys out if you are in the market. Let's drive the Chevy Silverado first. The Toyota Tundra is already warmed up, so I'm gonna let this bad boy at least get to operating temp before we get on the highway. But if you don't know, this truck was refreshed for 2022, and quite honestly, between the interior and exterior updates, this is a really strong contender for this model year. And this was completely redesigned back in 2022 as well. And I think that the twin turbo V6 was a bad idea. If I was Toyota, I'm going to say this a lot when I do videos, if I was Toyota, I would have kept the 5.7 liter alive for 3 model years with the 10-speed transmission, and then I would have killed it. But I'm not too in love with this truck overall, but we'll see. I have to get some more seat time with it. But we're going to take this one out first, like I said. Let's get into it. So here we go. We are going to reset the fuel economy for the trip here. Is this it right here? Yep, this is it. Actually here, trip 1. So let's go ahead and reset trip 1, and let's go ahead and go. The Toyota Tundra doesn't have something similar to this, so I'm gonna have to reset it in 2 different ways. I do like the cluster inside of this Chevy a lot better. It's fully digital, and I feel like it's just a little bit more user-friendly, personally. And I think that Toyota could do a better job. Now granted, again, that is a lower trim level. I do know they start getting nicer after the limited, but let's face it, this is basically the same truck, guys. So LTZ versus limited is a pretty comparable truck, and I just think that Chevy does it a little bit better. Both trucks do have stop start, so whenever we do stop at a light, which this light just turned green, now it's turning red again. So unfortunately, I did stop on this one, but the stop start function does work. I'm not going to disable it like I normally do. So let's see if it works. Nope, didn't come on yet. But one thing I do like about this Chevy is it does have a power steering column, and I think I like this interior a lot better. I think that Chevy has just done a great job for this model year. They just really took it to another level. And with Toyota having a full redesign, the interior is nice, which you guys will see here in a second. But I just think I like the Chevys a little bit better. I do believe that once I get this on the highway, I'll be able to give you a better idea of which one rides better. But as you guys know, that Toyota does have air suspension, so that's always going to be a good factor. But once this light turns green, we're going to get on the highway. We're going to go down about 5 or 6 miles, then turn around and get a good loop in for the fuel economy. But we're not looking too good right now because, like I said, this light caught us. Alrighty, so we're getting on the highway now. This truck does have really good visibility, and I love hearing the 5.3 V8. Uh-oh, why are we in tow haul mode? Okay, now we're back in normal mode. They do have different driving modes for this one too. They don't have like an eco mode like Toyota does, but that's okay. This does have that active fuel management, dynamic fuel management, whatever they call it. Not my favorite thing. I would actually disable those things if this was my truck, but so far so good. This is a smooth truck. This one does have the Bridgestone tires. I'll show you guys the tire size here. And I believe it has a little bit more capacity than the ones that's on the Toyota Tundra. I think those are Yokohamas. You guys see in a second, but man. I drove a Trail Boss, and the tire noise is pretty much, very much so apparent. I'm at 75 miles an hour. I'm accelerating a little bit right now. I'm going about 78. Let's go and set the cruise control at 75. I'm about 1800, actually dropped down to about 1600 RPMs. But yeah, this is such a nice truck, guys. Something that I love that Chevy does, they do it for the HDs as well, is they show you all the numbers for the truck. So this does have a 7,100 pound GVWR. It also shows you the curb weight. So this truck weighs, hopefully you guys can see it, 5,450 pounds. And if you subtract that GVWR from that curb weight, your payload is going to be 1,650 pounds. This truck can tow about 9,300 pounds conventionally with a 930 pound tongue weight. And then if you can't find a gooseneck as light as this, 8,600 pounds with 1,290 pounds of tongue weight. But that's not bad, guys. And here's some of the tire specs here with the payload on that sticker that you're used to seeing. Right at 80 miles an hour, that 10 speed is humming along around about, what, 1,600 RPM? A little bit above 1,500 for sure. And that's pretty darn good. I'm gonna go ahead and set the cruise control. There's a little bit of body roll with the truck. Like whenever you turn the steering wheel, you can really feel that weight transfer pretty quickly. The steering does feel tight at these higher speeds, so you can control that pretty darn easily. Do love the overall fit and finish in this truck. This is where I think Chevy's really gonna kill the Toyota Tundra at. Like the Tundras is nice too, but this feels just like a little bit more classy. And the nice thing about this interior too is it does have a heads-up display, and that does come in handy too. I think that just the overall design of this cluster, just everything about this truck is just more easier to use. Like I grew up with Toyota, so naturally I feel like once you've been in a Toyota, you've been in all of them. I don't really feel that way in the Tundra. I feel like the Tundra's a little bit harder to figure out, more or less. But we'll go down this road a few more miles. We've only driven about 4. And we're averaging about 17.8 miles to the gallon, so that's not too bad. So when I did the Trail Boss, I don't remember what the Philly comment was, but I will say this one is definitely doing better. There's probably a lot to do with those tires too. They're not as aggressive, and they're really for this type of driving, just cruising. The V8 engine is not dead. Let's face it. They want to kill it, but they can't. So this is going to have 355 horsepower, 383 pound-feet of torque, made it to a 10-speed transmission. I know that in the Toyota, the gears are pretty deep. So in this one here, let's just face it, it's going to probably be deep too in first, second, and third gear. But I am very interested to see just how great the fuel economy will be compared to the twin turbo V6. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and exit the interstate here. 297, so I gotta remember that for next time. So let's just face it, this is better than the Trail Boss. So if you're really after fuel economy, let this be a lesson to you. Do not get the off-road truck. We always knew that. Oh, but we're actually not gonna catch this light, so we might have a better advantage here. I'm gonna show you guys a little bit of acceleration here. We're gonna jump right back on the interstate. Alright, so we're at 21.3. Wow, that is really good, guys. Really good. About to mess it up though. But there's a curve coming up, so I can't really accelerate around that. So let's go ahead and get on the straightaway. Man, that is really good fuel economy. Way better than the Trail Boss. Now, it was colder that day, but it's still 45 degrees. So we're going to accelerate here. Man, look at the kick down. Wow. And 80. That is not bad. Really good acceleration. Wow. is not good, guys. Not good at all. 20.2. That's better than I think the Trail Boss got. I can never remember the numbers after the fact, but I want to say I was like around 18, 19. So that Tundra, it's gonna have a mountain to climb here. I've been driving the truck now for a little bit, so I already kind of know the outcome of this test in a sense. But yeah, 20.1, and we're not even back yet. Remember, I have to coast down for a little bit. By the way, earlier the auto stop start was off. It was off. So I did turn it back on here, and if I do get stopped at any more lights, if it comes on, then it'll help the fuel economy here. The Toyota Tundras, it does work too. But yeah, like I said, this truck has already been warmed up before I did this test. It warmed up pretty quickly, but it's, like I said, it's not that cold outside, so it's not really that much of a surprise. But yeah, we should be back here in a second, and yeah, we'll be able to see what kind of fuel economy this truck can get. Man, 19.9. I stopped at a lot of lights. I hit 3 lights on this trip in total, so that's going to affect a little bit. But I still think the Chevy's going to win, guys. I don't think that the Toyota can beat this, but we'll see. I will promise you this: I don't care which one wins. But if I was a betting man, that twin turbo V6 is really hard to get good gas miles with. So we'll stop right here next to this Escalade. This will be the stopping point. So I did 17.7 miles, 19.9 MPG, and I averaged about 54 miles per hour. Now with the Tundra, I don't think you can see the same type of information. Like I said, the infotainment in this is so much better. I reset everything, and we're gonna go ahead and get on the highway here. I'm gonna show you guys the RPMs here in a second. But like I said, guys, I'm excited to see how this does, but I really want to try to keep my foot out of it. I even have it in eco mode too, so I'm cheating a little bit because I don't think it's gonna win. And I don't know what it is about Toyota trucks. I'm telling you, they should have kept the 5.7 alongside this one and put the 10-speed behind it. That would have been the best way to go, and I think that they would have had a better shot at, you know, getting better fuel economy. Well, it wouldn't be better than this. This would still beat it, but this doesn't get that good of gas miles so far, that's what I've seen. But we'll see how it does on the same route as that Chevy. But so far, I do think this truck is a little bit more comfortable. It's a little bit more comfortable. I feel like it's just more dialed in. The steering is a lot better, which is very rare for Toyota. In the past, Toyota's always felt vague, but this, it's a little bit softer, but it feels good though. I can't really put my finger on it. It feels a lot better than the Chevy for comfort-wise for the steering. I'm gonna go ahead and set the cruise control for you guys. It's gonna be the same issue I had earlier. There's a lot of traffic right now, so even though I set it for 80 miles an hour, the radar cruise control is not gonna let me go much faster than that. But I'm at, I believe that's 1800 RPMs, and I'm at 16 MPG. And you can see the instant right there too, guys. Like, I'm telling you, I don't know what it is. These Toyota trucks are heavy. I'll show you guys the capacities for this truck. They don't show you the towing capacity, but they do show you the payload. And I'll show you guys exactly what the curb weight is on this truck too. But overall, this does run at low RPMs. This has a 331 rear axle, and Chevy's trucks have 323s. So that's probably another reason why the RPMs are a little bit lower on the Chevy compared to this one. Because I want to say that the Chevys are like just above 1500, around 16 to 1700. And this is like around, actually this one dropped down a little bit. But yeah, overall, road noise is better. I think the Yokohama tires aren't as bad as I thought they were. They're about the same as the Bridgestones in terms of like the road noise I'm feeling. Or I'm hearing, I should say, not feeling. I can't feel it. But yeah, I think it's about the same. So what is the capacity on a 2023 Toyota Tundra with a limited trim package? Here it is. So this does have a 7,365 pound gross vehicle weight rating. Remember, the Chevy's was 7,100 pounds. And the gross axle rating is going to be 4,080 and 3,860. So it's a little bit better axle rating on this truck. All in payload, however, is where you're going to really get hurt. 1,000. 390 pounds. So what was the Chevy? It was like 1,600 something, right? But keep in mind, you had to take an additional 22 pounds off this number because of some of the accessories that were added. So this truck weighs 5,997 pounds. Something else I didn't mention earlier, these seats are a little bit more comfortable too. They feel a little bit bigger. There's a little bit more cushioning on them. Just a little bit. They are stiff overall. I mean, this truck only has like 2,000 miles on it, so it's still practically a new pickup. But I do like the seats a little bit better than the Tundra. You know what else I like about the Tundra? Watch this. Oh, I love that. That with the panoramic sunroof, this truck is really, really nice. Ladies and gentlemen, I put my foot in my mouth yet again. Wow, 20 and a half. So we did get stopped by this light, and for some weird reason, the stop start function will not come on. But yeah, I think we're at about 21 or so at this light where the midpoint is basically. So yes, we still have to do a little bit of acceleration, and I'm willing to bet you that the Chevy will still win. I don't think this truck's gonna win. I shouldn't be so mean to the Toyota, but I just don't think it's better than the Chevy. And yeah, we'll see what we do going back. But like I said, I'm not gonna try to sway it one way or the other. I don't really care. I've been wrong many times in my life, but let's go ahead and get around this curve and I'll show you guys a little bit of acceleration from about 50 miles an hour or so. No matter how you slice it, this twin turbo V6 just beats the 5.3 liter in every way. That engine has not been updated in so long that like it's starting to show signs of like cobwebs under the hood. But this one is going to have 389 horsepower. It's not that much more than the Chevy, however, 479 pound-feet of torque. So this thing has that low grunt that you need, especially if you do plan on towing a trailer. Twin turboed, so you have those two intakes. And so this truck will definitely beat the Chevy off the line if you did a 0 to 60 comparison. Made it to a 10-speed transmission. I believe that first gear is like a 492. So it's geared right and it has great power delivery. All right, here we go. Wow, just about 80. Little bit of delay there, not a lot. You almost forgot you were driving a twin turbo V6. But the noises, whew, they don't sound good, guys. They don't sound good at all. And I think that's what I don't like about twin turbo V6s. I think the V8s, I think it's still a better option. I really do. But when you're cruising, it doesn't matter because you can't hear neither engine. And now we're down to about 18.6. So yeah, that's gonna hurt you. That's the thing about twin turbo V6s. Let me switch cameras and talk about that for a second. A lot of people have been complaining about the Toyota Tundra not getting great fuel economy. But I think it's because you don't really hear that or really feel that 5.7 liter V8 anymore. Like, that was a cool thing about that engine. It just screamed. I had it in a Toyota Land Cruiser and it was amazing. Like, it just screamed. And you don't really get that anymore. And I feel like a lot of people are gonna miss that about the Tundra. The Tundra had the best sounding 5.7 in the cockpit of any truck, in my opinion. Just my opinion. And when you hear this V6, it sounds like they're using some type of noise maker to make it sound more deeper. But I'm sorry, you can't make a V6 really sound good. It just doesn't sound good to me. I'm actually interested to go online after I make this video and see if anyone's put an exhaust system on these to see if it sounds any better. But I don't like how the Ford F-150 sound with the twin turbo V6. They don't sound good. They sound like cars. But like I said, I might just be a hater on the twin turbo V6s. And if you want to get more power out of this thing, you do know you can tune this thing and make a little bit more power from it. But I don't think you really need much more than this.
powerful. I don't think it's lacking in the power department. I just think that it doesn't sound that good.
Well, I put my foot in my mouth again. I put my foot in my mouth. We got better fuel economy. We got better fuel economy, guys. Oh, it just disappeared. There it is. 20.2. It was so stinking close. We're not back yet, though. We're not back yet. We're almost back. So we're gonna pretty much stop in the same spot, and then that will effectively end the test. So we're gonna park right next to this Escalade. Right here. So there it is. 20.1 MPG. 20.1. And I guess it does keep track of how long you did the auto stop start. But yeah, the Chevy Silverado was what, 19.9? But let's face it, a V6 should always get better fuel economy compared to a V8. And although this does have more horsepower and torque compared to the Chevy, on the highway, you're just kind of running at the same, you know, consistent speed, so that shouldn't really affect it. But hey, kudos to the Toyota Tundra. It got better fuel economy, and I think that the truck was a little bit more comfortable too overall. I like the steering response better. The Chevy just did a lot of things right. I think that the interior is just a little bit nicer. I think I felt more at home, maybe because I own a GMC. Maybe I just have fallen for the Chevy interiors a little bit more, but it doesn't matter. The Toyota Tundra won today. It did take the cake because of the fuel economy. It has a 10-speed, just like the Chevy, and quite honestly, it's not a bad looking pickup. But the price point, and because the twin turbo V6 is still not proven to be a reliable engine, I think that's where we're gonna have to kind of put a pin in it and see how it does over time, but we'll see. But I hope you guys liked the video. Special shout out to Jerry Seiner. Hopefully you guys can see that over that glare. This is Jerry Seiner Chevrolet here in Salt Lake City. They did allow me to do this video, so be sure to check out their inventory. They have a ton of cars. They have a Cadillac and a Kia store right across the way here too. So if you do buy a car from them, be sure to let them know you saw this video, and I'll see you guys soon.